Okay. I'm going to study the opening. Are you fasting? Yeah.
Today on Near Without the Noise, hosted by Ants, we are joined by two of our favorite people, Nate Geier and Carolin Wend from Mintbase. Mintbase is not only the prettiest marketplace to sell and buy your NFTs, but one that is committed to making the process easy and affordable. Originally built on Ethereum and now launched on the Near protocol mainnet. Nate, Carolin, thank you so much for joining us. We are very excited to have you here and very excited to witness the future of NFTs with Mintbase on Near.
Nice to be here. We're incredibly excited to show all the things we've kind of been quietly building the last almost 9 months, just 100% focused on this Near switch. So it's yeah, we're incredibly excited to show off all the things, but it's really hard to explain it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to be here and to meet you guys and just show you what we've built and what's in the pipeline.
Shall we dive right in?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right. So NFTs have become the ultimate hype of the year, it seems. Compared to December of last year, the record for transactions of NFT sales reached $1.5 billion, and it seems like the trend will only continue to grow. But just as much as the excitement for NFTs grow, so does the confusion regarding what NFTs are and what it means to own them. Perhaps we could start with a very basic question. I assume you guys by now must have a very simple answer for what is an NFT. Could you explain it in layman's terms?
Go for it, Carl.
Yeah, NFTs can be anything that's digital, anything than money, tickets, art, music, really literally anything can be tokenized. But at the core of it, like we always say, we also don't know what the heck those NFTs are. Like we are discovering this every day. There are just so many use cases. Right now we are, for example, building a hybrid festival in Germany, which is actually a physical festival, and like feeding it with NFTs, so artists can buy and sell NFTs as music, as backstage passes, as swag, and we're just experimenting what those things can do. And what we really love about NFTs, I mean, it's not this like, you know, an NFT sits in your wallet and has been sold for 70 million and then it doesn't do anything. Like we are all about purposeful NFTs, and I'm sure Nate has to say something about that.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, is we still haven't figured it out. We've been in theoretical land for a long time, and we know that there's this like usability land. We had this nice art explosion, thank goodness for Super Rare and Known Origin and those folks, and OpenSea and CryptoVoxels for kind of showing the light. And we just got murdered by all the gas fees. So I think we were just getting to the point where we could actually start explaining what is an NFT. We were doing it last year when we started doing them for ticketing, for NFT NYC and for DAppCon and all these big conferences, but then none of it made sense anymore because of the gas fees. So now we're getting back to this new world where now we have a nice chain, cheap fees, and we can start going, okay, we have the system, now let's start saying what are NFTs. And so the dialogue of what is an NFT, that I think begins very soon.
So I guess at the very core of just the definition, it's a token in the sense that it's something that exists on the blockchain and it can be exchanged in that form, and non-fungible in the sense that it's unique and irreplaceable. So that's why it could work very well as backstage passes or ticket events, as you just mentioned. And I think a lot of the conceptual confusion that we see in the media or in communities today comes down to the idea of owning a digital item. It's something very foreign to us because in today's digital sphere, we think we can just screenshot an image or watch or share a clip on YouTube. So we hear some people say, why would I buy an NFT when I can look at it for free? So could you maybe illustrate for us, say if I buy an NFT off of Mintbase, what is it that I actually own?
So people get really stuck on the screenshot stuff. I'm like, yep, you're right. We're just getting excited over nothing. We forgot about the screenshot thing. No, but the reality is all these points of metadata that goes with it, the art, everything else that gets tacked onto it, the Vox files, all that other stuff, that's just to orientate us what it actually does. So basically, these are all these different files and bits to orientate us with what it does, but at the core of it, it's the token that says I own this thing. And what that is this nice, beautiful point where any company around the world can interact with it, not have to access one API that is blocked or can be turned off at any point. I just answered something on Reddit, the Near protocol. Someone asked, like, why do ticketing when we have normal ticketing? I'm like, oh yeah, Eventbrite. What's the big difference between us and Eventbrite? So yes, I have ticket. Ticket gets me into thing. I go to thing, done, right? In our world, I have ticket. Ticket, now anybody can interact with it. If I'm a gaming conference or gaming company, I can partner with the event that I'm going to. All of a sudden, your character can run faster or has stronger abilities during the month that the event's going on. Simultaneously, I can go and get into a co-working space. Some other developer can create a voting app that says, hey, anyone who actually is going to the event can vote on X, Y, and Z. Now we have this point of access. We're going to create for the Wilde Möwe festival in Berlin a artist onboard section where only artists who have a ticket who are actually going to the event can become curated in our new marketplace. So imagine you're the artist who's actually going to the event. You could then go into the space and go there and actually see your art displayed while other people around the world can purchase it. So that's
even more so. Like, just take the example of a festival. Just imagine you're organizing a festival, and you know there are so many upfront costs. Like, you have to pay DJs and artists and the people who build the stages. So what you could do instead, you could say, okay, David Guetta, you get 5% of every ticket sold, and the other artist gets 2% of every ticket sold. So people actually have a stake and like a ownership in the whole event, and it's in their best interest to push the event. So there are completely new incentive mechanisms coming up with NFTs, not only for ticketing, but for music and for art. And Nate actually programmed this split revenue and split royalties feature, which doesn't exist yet on other platforms. And you can basically split, like whenever you sell an NFT, you can distribute the revenue between 20 people. And this is really revolutionary. And we will see really many different use cases.
I did not program it. I programmed the interface that you can interact with it and do stuff. Thor, our crazy Rust smart contract developer, he cranked those out. I said, this is why it's been taking so long, is we've been focused on this really crazy split revenue, split royalty system and working with the near NFT standards. And so all that complication is going to be a payout in the end, but yes.
Wow, that really seems interesting. So on the side of the creators, there is a great incentive because you really own the creation that you get. Not only do you have proof on the blockchain that this is truly yours, that you created it, but also from this royalty system that you will be able to profit off of it, and different people will be able to stake in a creation and profit off of the sales as well. So I can really see why on the creator side, this would be a very desirable way to consumer side. Why would someone who consumes art, or maybe not art only, but also tickets, events, why would they want an NFT version of this?
Well, it gives you much more, right? It gives you not only a QR code that gets you into a conference, but it may be like a song that you get with it, or a beautiful art piece, or maybe you can vote on what kind of music, on what kind of DJ you want to see play at the festival. It can really have endless opportunities. So at the core of it all, like a ticket as we know it from Eventbrite and Ticketmaster is like a one-time use asset, and NFTs are multi-purpose assets. So you can do anything with it, but you can also actually own it. And yeah, it really depends on the value creator who sells those tickets, what he wants to do with us.
Agreed.
So moving on to maybe a little bit of explanation of Mintbase itself, could you tell us a little bit about how Mintbase's system works, and what are some features that differentiate Mintbase from other NFT platforms in the cryptosphere?
Okay, yeah, we've built a lot of stuff. We aren't a super rare, we are a super rare factory. So you'll be building companies will basically, so we enable our users to deploy their own stores. Their own stores is their own smart contracts. A smart contract is just a set of functions, which is an API. So imagine you're basically deploying all of your own APIs in every single store, and you can manage as many stores as you want. So that's what we are. We are also going to not only have a pretty interface that allows you to purchase all these things, but a nice NPM script where you can just NPM install Mintbase and do everything we do on the market via your code. So vending machines, purchasing more Fritos when they run out is not that far off of a thing. We are also, yeah, it's just a crazy big platform. We use Arweave. All of your uploads go directly to Arweave, a decentralized storage system. Yep. Oh, someone dropped off.
But also, I think what differentiates us is, I mean, we are the first chain agnostic. I think the first platform that is on several blockchains, like apart from like, you know, Matic and stuff. So we are on Ethereum and on Near, but also it's a completely new system. So we are using this new standard that Nate was talking about, the Ep.12 that we, our team developed together with the Near team. So it kind of is a lesson learned from Ethereum. So for example, right now with the royalty, maybe Nate, you can say more to the royalty standards on the Ep.171 versus the ERC-721.
Yeah, Sparrow really pushed the royalties. So what Ethereum got right in a lot of senses kind of got wrong in the royalties. It was a little too late. So all the different platforms can't really implement royalties because everyone tweaked how they pay out people each differently, and the smart contracts can't just keep doing, well, if royalty thing, or if royalty name is this, or if royalty name is that, then maybe send out X, Y, and Z. If we have a standard from the start, it really helps out the system. The other big differentiator of us is our focus is 100% on purposeful NFTs. So I think Ethereum has done amazing in the, I'm a big famous person, I mint a thing, you buy it for a bunch of money and or marketing strategies, but you can't really do much with it because to move it from A to B, it could cost $30 and $50 to mint. Everyone was kind of like, hey, everybody, let's mint t-shirts and sell t-shirts. But if the t-shirt costs, you know, $12 and then to mint it, it costs 50, that doesn't make a ton of sense. Our focus is the purposeful part. So not only do our royalties and split revenues help with funding multiple accounts on a single purchase, but it also shows purpose. So all these different accounts, it could be charities that could get a percentage of the split. It could be different partners like the gaming companies and all these different groups. We have little bubbles that show you all the elements and folks that are part of this NFT. So we want to explain and show everyone what does this thing actually get me? And all in one place, we want to be able to say, oh, here's a link that goes to a blog post that explains this gaming scenario with our gaming company. Here's the event that explains what the NFT does. It gets you into X, Y, and Z, and maybe a t-shirt. Purpose, that's our focus. We want them to be minted, traded, transferred, burned, moved around the ecosystem as fluidly as text messages.
I really find compelling this idea of purposeful NFTs, and maybe you could add on to this and explain. From what I understand, the things that you have on Mintbase, these programmable reward tokens, do they also add to the idea of purposeful NFTs? Could you explain a little bit about what they are, how do they work, and in which sense do they make NFTs more useful?
NFT is thing standard as on Ethereum. Everyone can check who's the owner of the thing. They can use it just the same as on Ethereum. I think our split, I wish I could just show you in our, am I able to screen share? Is that a thing?
Yeah, click on present now on the bottom right. You see it? Present
Will it
now.
actually show stuff?
Yeah, it will show you.
I get that
Now we
this is
can
Google
see your
Meet, but I don't
screen.
know how the streaming's working. Okay, so here's our system. We've got over 6,644 connected to a testnet account. You can see in our market, a bunch of bubbles. These are all the folks that are attached to this NFT. This is all test data, obviously. We've got, I'm a big fan of shrimp. Shrimp are way underrated. I think they're the most underrated item. But we're gonna, okay, so you can see how the splits work out. We can buy the item through here. So this is gonna be kind of like an exchange. We have one item NFT on our system. So this number will go up and down depending on people selling this item. So there can be multiple items using the same metadata. We even have a whole massive offer system that kind of gives you the whole process of you can offer a certain amount, you can overtake people. We've got Engine and Super Rare battling it out over here. If I decide I want to say, I want to accept 3 near that Super Rare has offered to me, I can hit take. And when I take the 3 near, then all of a sudden the NFT will actually get sent to them. We also have transaction hashes for every single bit. So we want to show our users that everything is on chain. A lot of the Ethereum groups have basically moved a lot of their on-chain transactions off chain, which is kind of going back into this beautiful decentralized world. We can also see that here's my different smart contracts. It's as easy as moving from one after another and flipping through a directory system that you can see individual smart contracts. We're doing the store deployer system. You can transfer it, blah, blah, blah. This gets rid of passwords. If you own the store deployer token, then you can deploy stores and mint items. It's a whole process, but yep, I'm gonna stop now. Purpose.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so coming into the NFT world as an artist myself, I was really excited, and I was hearing all this hype about it, but I was also kind of like overwhelmed by all, like, just getting all this information from different sides. I didn't know anything about crypto. I didn't know anything about NFTs. I had a lot of information and opinions and, trends and things like coming at me with pretty much no context. And I had no knowledge of like how this would impact my art practice or why, why this movement was significant. And I was basically entering the space with like no foundational knowledge, and that was like kind of intimidating to me. So I guess I was wondering, how does Mintbase make creating NFTs and minting NFTs more accessible to, artists, creatives, entrepreneurs, basically anyone coming in from outside of the crypto space?
Definitely. We have like a guild on Near, which is called CreateBase, and we host NFT Ask Me Anything sessions every Tuesday at 7 p.m. set. Every Wednesday we have a Clubhouse talk, and then on Thursday we do another NFT Ask Me Anything on Discord. So that's like how we try to, just be there for artists. And we have several channels where we are there for artists, but we do realize that most people from outside of the crypto space are not on Discord, they're not on Telegram. What we are doing right now is we're working together with the festival where we are onboarding their artists and just like trying to be there for them. So it's difficult because we also don't have any documentation right now because we are launching like in the next few weeks. So but Near is really it's very easy, the onboarding process. So yeah, you have a browser wallet and it's basically the same system anyone needs, like when you sign up with Facebook or you have a Gmail or whatever, you always need an email address and a password. So it's kind of the same concept with Near.
That said, disclaimer: our system isn't for the easily what's the word? Easily. This is hard. We're doing a lot of hard stuff. We're bushwhacking. We're basically in the jungles, like whacking. You know, we can't just hold people's hands. We're going so fast. We're trying to explore and trying to find this. Our support is abysmal. Basically, we had awesome documentation on Ethereum, but now in Nearland, we're just build. We're going through a second bit of audits with our Rust contract. We are we love the folks that kind of grind with us. They are trying to figure it out. They've been with us from the beginning. They're the experimenters. This isn't Google or Amazon where everything is perfect and all the error handling is supported. Like this is full on experimentation and jump on, and if not, then oops. But check back in 6 months. The team is growing, and
Yeah, it is kind of a wild ride, but I mean, that's good to hear too, that you guys kind of have made, make efforts to give support to the community, in the ways that you can. So like currently, how is the ecosystem on Mintbase, and who are you working with? What does the engagement look like, the artist and creator engagement?
First and foremost, we definitely missed this big hype cycle because we've been heads down building. As soon as we realized in August that the gas fees weren't going to get resolved, we were in our heyday this time last year doing ticketing. To deploy a store cost $2. To mint tokens, fractions of a penny, not fractions, but a couple pennies to mint a thing. We're like, cool, we can use this. In August, it was $200 to deploy a store. All of a sudden we realized, oh God, this is not going to get fixed. We need to focus on this. So we rebuilt, and we rebuilt a lot. Near is awesome. It's also very new, and there's some infrastructure that does this. I won't go into the indexer stuff. That's all. We had to rebuild how we keep sync state with the chain. So we are, as far as our community, we have the folks still who have basically known that we're on the right path and know that it's going to pay out in the end, but definitely our community has dwindled from super, we won't join the big Taylor Swift deploys a mint world. That's not us. We don't find use in that. We find use in deeper meaning. I come from the financial space where I just have seen how stock gets traded from A to B, and it's terrifying.
That's definitely, I mean, that's now that we're talking about Near, and I think it's important maybe to emphasize once again that Mintbase started in Ethereum and moved out to Near at this point because of the growing fees, exactly, and I guess congestion on the platform as well. So maybe you could just give us some of the challenges that Mintbase and its users were facing on Ethereum besides growing fees and congestion.
Yeah, indexer hands down is the biggest, most painful thing. Probably the biggest news in Near's entire development besides the Rainbow Bridge is the fact that the Graph protocol is going to be, if you're not familiar with the Graph, basically 80% of our development time is spent on this indexer problem. The Graph is what we use on Ethereum. They're one of the most used indexers out there. I've got to rely on them. We didn't get to rely on them this time around for our build. That said, now that we've built our own indexer, that's incredibly powerful, and I'm so excited we have it. But the graph is now building on Near. They said they're going to deploy to 4 chains. One was Polkadot, Cello, and Solana, and one other one. Either way, that's the most important thing. Like Near would not make it too far without that, because building and running your own indexer is just not something a dApp should be able to do, or not not something humans.
I think like OpenSea and Super Rare and every dApp and probably Balancer and whatever, they're all using the graph, I believe. So just
I don't think OpenSea is, but they're doing another indexer, so I don't know what they're up to.
Okay, and I don't know if this is like much of a confidential information, but maybe also interesting for people to know if like what would be an estimate if I had to deploy a store on Near right now, like how much would that how long would that take me actually, and how much would that cost me?
How much would that cost you? Let's see. Let's go here.
Go on in.
All right.
Here.
Let's see if we can. All right, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna deploy. Let's go to say no Near. So we're gonna do a quick little symbol. We're gonna deploy our store right now. So we have it set for 7 Near to deploy a store. It's actually 5, but we give you some padding because in order to mint tokens, we secure storage for you. So 7 times what, $5? So we've deployed our store. So it has been created, the no Near. If we come over here, we can even come into our settings and we can go into the transactions. And this is what it is on mintspace.testnet. So this is how all of your contracts, this is your domain. You can see create store was added, and we even have the transaction hash of all the things. If we go back to our no Near smart contract, we can even mint a quick token, and I can send this out to you guys if you want. There's a little space guy. So we're uploading to Arweave. There's our royalties if we want to add to that. And then we're going to do some of this, a little of that. We're going to make it some art, maybe some music. Should we add one royalty? Nah. Yeah, 20% to Carolin. Oh, my typing. Okay, we're going to mint the thing. So now we've deployed our own smart contract with all of our functions. Now we're minting a token on the contract. And if you guys have a testnet account, I can even send it to you. But yeah, that's it. We did it.
So the costs, I think, were like $35 to deploy a store, or $40, and then a few cents to deploy, mint one NFT.
Yep. So now we have two transactions. Off they go.
Okay,
and just like that too.
Yeah, that's fast. That's quite fast now. And maybe like to summarize once again, what are actually the benefits for Mintbase compared to Ethereum when you came to Near? Like again, the top reasons for you to switch, guys.
So not too many humans like Solidity. Writing in Rust is a big deal for us. That has been very advantageous. I think that's going to be a big selling point for a lot of other developers coming into the space. Having the block explorer has been really valuable, and then just being able to chat directly with the Near team. All of them have been very helpful throughout the process. And now, yeah, we'll see what happens over the next few months. I can't wait to see it in action. Nope.
And also, like the Near ecosystem, like the wallet with Nate, what you always say is like super impressive, that it always creates a new seed phrase, or like a new key, and super good for VR. So one of our team members, he actually is super into VR, and he builds his own virtual world, and he already integrated like Near in there, that he can just basically super easily transfer Near and NFTs like within his virtual world. I don't know the technicalities behind that. Maybe Nate, you can say more behind this thing. But
yeah, the account system's pretty amazing. Being able to keep my own account, you know, blah 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 .near, and then you can add multiple different private keys to it. You can remove them all if you want just an account that's constantly has a deployed contract that no one control. You can swap them out. So if I want to have my account blah 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 .near and then move it from, you know, trust to the ledger, you can still keep that account and swap it around. We haven't really explored too deep the allowance system, which you can actually spend near without having to go back and forth to the wallet. But essentially, each connection to a dApp gets its own private key connection. So then it allows the dApp to actually spend on the behalf of the item, depending on the allowance. So yeah, it's there's a lot of innovations. I think we'll start seeing them more and more as finally when we launch on mainnet.
Yeah, the account model is quite amazing as well. And I think a lot of people do not understand yet that it has so much more potential, especially for the future. And I think one of the features like user friendliness and having human readable addresses, actually, this is also something very useful for users. I'm wondering if you received any feedback from your users already about this?
yeah, we onboarded our festival partners today, and it was really nice to show them, like, you know, this is your smart contract. It's called wildeverse.testnet.near, and like everyone, we've like sent store deployers so far, so access to our testnet. Yeah, they really like this human readable account system. It's just so much easier to like view things and view the code in there, and yeah, I really like the block explorer.
But and the real crazy thing is, so like we have this account system that you can buy the NFT and it can have up to 20 different splits, 10 royalties, 10 splits. As soon as you purchase it, you fund everybody's account automatically. In the wallet, you can go to it and you can see easily all the different accounts, who got what, when. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and maybe another question also related to one of the big events that happened recently on Near, the Rainbow Bridge, the famous Rainbow Bridge that went live, which allows for trustless transfer of assets between the Ethereum and Near. So what is the significance of the Rainbow Bridge for Mintbase specifically would be?
For me specifically, I'm really excited to start. So we've used USDC extensively just as a company, with employees and with investments and all sorts of stuff. It's really nice to be able to trust a stable coin. Being able to have that on Near would be amazing. I can't imagine if all of a sudden maybe Coinbase starts accepting Near USDC. That would just blow my mind. But that's where it's going to start getting really interesting. We haven't accommodated for it yet. We are just going to get the basics with the fashion Near at the beginning, the basic token, but look out next Q3.
Yeah, and then like all people with like Ethereum and with DAI can just convert it to NETH and NDAI and easily buy NFTs. So that's really, really awesome.
Okay, and well, since we're talking about interoperability, I'm wondering if there would be any other NFT projects building it on different blockchains, but Near or Ethereum. Why do you think the aspect of interoperability for NFTs in general is important?
Why do we think interoperability is important? Oh, the whole basis of our ticket analogy of like, okay, here's this thing, it gets you into the event, you're done. If interoperability wasn't a thing within NFTs, I would just use Eventbrite. Interoperability is what makes this thing powerful. So getting it right with the standards is interoperability. A standard is just a way for everyone to say, okay, I can interact with this token in a very easy fashion. So that is what has been taking us a while, is getting the standards done right. Net4 is not so good. 171, much better. So we've been developing that alongside with the Near team, and now it's pretty much getting in its final stages this week. along with our application has been rewritten several times to comply with the standards that we've been building while building the marketplace. But it's been nice building a marketplace while building the standards, while building the NFT factory all together. It's been painful, but good because we got to adapt as we build.
And in terms of other NFT projects coming on Near, so there are actually a few like DAO records and new found trees, like who are planning to use our code and just build their own interface. So we also have a SDK that we will release at the same time we release mainnet, so people can do everything like the offer system. They can sell, mint, transfer, burn NFTs without even using the Mintbase interface. And yeah, that's gonna be really big, I think.
That's awesome. So another aspect, I guess, of the NFT space that I became aware of as I was first getting involved was the environmental impact of minting NFTs. So I guess my question is, what is Mintbase's sort of like response, I guess, to the argument against NFTs due to like their carbon footprint, and does building on Near help alleviate sort of any of those effects?
Yeah, so Near is more energy efficient because they have the proof of stake system and Ethereum has a proof of work system. So by nature, the technology of Near is produces less energy. And then Near also works together with a carbon offsetting company called South Pole. So they do carbon offsetting, which is basically for the energy that the blockchain uses, they invest or they like pay amount of money to this organization that invested in deforestation project and other things. So that's really important as well to like look at the environmental cost of all of this. I mean, yeah, technology can never be like just neutral, but at least Near is trying to offset the emissions, and it actually has a climate neutral label now. So that's really important as well.
Yep. And it helps because our Vildemur, that's what they asked at the festival. They're like,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I'm into this whole thing. I keep hearing about NFTs and destroying, rabbits' habitats. And I said, all right, let me give you the proof of stake theory. And then everybody's happy.
Yeah, I think that it's honestly like really powerful that y'all can like have that response, because that was one of the biggest arguments that I saw against NFTs in general. And at the time I didn't know what to say and respond. I was like, oh my god, this is scary, how much energy it's consuming to create these things. But yeah, so in order to create this NFT platform, you guys have probably like researched and observed sort of the evolution of NFTs as they've grown and seen the scope of sort of what they can do since the beginning to where they're at now. So I guess, how do you see the evolution and to what they are now, and then how do you view them kind of looking forward to the future?
Yeah, we drove a lot of the conversation up until about August, and we've been quiet since then because what we're seeing now isn't a lot of evolution. We're seeing a lot of, oh my God, I moved, $100 billion worth of ether on a sale of a basketball player. It's like it's there's no innovation. It's just moving thing from A to B. We've been doing that for a while. The number just is larger. It got stuck in the evolutionary process because the gas fees, it really stops everything unless you're selling a card, a collector's card of some sort. And a majority of that is marketing wash trading. So we are hyper focused on pushing the conversation as we did the last few years with getting outside of that, and we'll rejoin the evolution again coming next month.
So would you say that you agree with the sentiment? I've heard some proponents of NFT say in the future, every piece of media will be an NFT. Do you think that this will all, do you also believe that this will be the case? And in that case, I guess also in light, because you say NFTs, we're talking about purposeful NFTs. So would that mean that every piece of media in the future being an NFT should potentially be a purposeful one and not kind of this rich collector's digital collectible card as the focus is now?
Yep, let's take Netflix as like the low-hanging fruit. All right, we got Netflix, right? It's a simple service. I need to get into it to watch my video content. I think the low-hanging fruit at the beginning isn't to NFT-itize every single movie, but to just do the subscription as an NFT. I buy the subscription. If I have card, browser checks, I have card, yes, okay, see videos. I own my subscription. If I'm tired of Netflix, I can sell it on an exchange and get my money. That's the really simple process. It's going to get real bananas when all of a sudden the content creators have a bunch of royalties and splits. All the people who created that video now have created the NFT, and maybe a service provider like Netflix purchases that NFT, and then the viewer can see it. Or we just get rid of Netflix altogether and the content creators can go and dish out their thing directly to it. It's going to be an evolution. I don't really understand how that's going to happen quickly, but certainly the subscription service could be the very quick go-to.
This is all really exciting because on top of NFTs becoming very popularized, massively adopted, it seems that the economic model or the paradigm of what we understand as the economic model today is going to change entirely. So we were talking about Netflix just now on. Today's content creators are very much, they have to succumb to a platform-driven economy, right? You may be on TikTok, you produce a bunch of TikTok content and you bring a lot of users onto the platform, but you don't technically own your intellectual property. You can't perpetually profit off of it. I think another exciting element of NFTs when they reach full capacity must be this entire shift in the economic sphere.
Absolutely, yeah. It's removing probably like platforms like Spotify and YouTube and all those platforms later down the line, because what's happening right now is those platforms, they profit off creators, right? So I recently heard one of our friends, he's a DJ, he has 300,000 streams a month, and he earns 4,000 or 3,000 euros a year. So obviously he cannot live from his music. So he now got into NFTs, and he already earned more than by selling 3 or 4 pieces than a whole year of streaming. And this shows that your power fans or your real fans are supporting the artist. And that's, I think, people are willing to buy an NFT from an artist because they also want to to have a revenue stream. And not only that, but maybe that's what our friend Dane did. He also gave a permission to people to mix and a license to just use it for whatever they want to use it. And he went even a step further than that, and he told he wrote in the NFT whoever buys the NFT has a license to do X, Y, and Z, but also you can remix this tune, send it to me, and then I will select the best one and I will share it on my SoundCloud profile, because that's kind of really nice game theory behind that, because then he also helps the other artists and he engages them. And yeah, it's just, anyways, my point is NFTs empower creators and they help them to really monetize their content. And that's so exciting about this whole concept of NFTs.
Yeah, it's really incredible how it not only empowers the creators, but it really brings to the fore the community that's usually behind the success of individual creators. Now we have to attribute it to the platforms or the labels, the middlemen. But now in the future, with NFTs being the model and the creator economy being the default, it could be the communities themselves engaging and staking and investing in the creators' creations directly. I think that's a very powerful thing that NFTs can provide.
Yeah, actually, and also what we want creators, we don't want them to be dependent on Mintbase, right? Because we want everyone to have their own smart contract. They can, build their own platform and then can port the contract over and the NFTs over. So we want people to use our platform because they want to use our platform, not because they have to. And currently, people are using platforms like Spotify and whatever as an example because they have to, because there's no other option, and they are like siloed in those like ecosystem. But now with like NFTs, they can do whatever they want and just move to another platform. And that's interesting to see as well on Ethereum, that artists or creators are not like just loyal to one platform, but everyone is like trying out like different platforms as well.
Yeah, we've done our job. If we die tomorrow, that your system works just fine. May not be as pretty as if it would be on our system, but the token should live on all the systems.
That's incredibly beautiful. So now I want to ask, we're very excited for the future of NFTs. We believe that it will revolutionize the way that we understand creation, the economy, and that it will be massively adopted. What do you think is required for that turning point, for mass adoption, for that being widely used? Is it just the cultural conversation, or do you expect that there needs to be certain technological innovations to make it really come to fruition? What are some of your thoughts?
Infrastructure. So Ethereum, the first pump in 2000. All right, so Bitcoin, 2013, 14. Everyone had this idea of what blockchain could be, but no one really had anything we could do with it. Next big pump, 2017. We have Ethereum. It kind of makes sense. Wait, I have this token. What can I do with it? Nobody. I don't know. We all freaked out. Like, I have a Golem token, but there's no product, right? All these ICOs went and exploded, and we all have these awesome tokens. We're like, okay, now we have to wait a couple of years for them to build the product. Those products didn't actually get built. Whoops. Now we're in this new cycle where Ethereum finally we have token, and token gets me to do stuff, but we are not quite there yet. We hit another blockade of this gas issue. So we're moving, the conversation's moving, the infrastructure's being built, the Graph protocol is making awesome indexers, wallets are evolving, like all this stuff is getting built and growing along. And now we're kind of getting to that point, and Mintbase, I think, will be a big part of the, we have something we can use finally. And that's what we've been really pushing for. So mass adoption happens with where we're at right now. We had the festival. That'll be that first, okay, here's an exploratory real use case. And then we kind of go from there. So that's the next phase.
Sorry.
Maybe in terms of the future of Mintbase a little bit, we understand, I think I heard in one of your videos explaining Mintbase that you were working on a Mandarin version so that users could also access Mintbase in Mandarin. Is that something that's coming to fruition soon? Is that something we can expect soon from Mintbase?
Definitely. So we built translations at the base. I think we have to do a few other things to take it a step further. So basically we're running our own system that runs an indexer. All that stuff is very friendly towards Asia. We need to decouple from Firebase on one thing, because I know that there's a few blocks to get into that land. And we have our auth system is based on Twitter from the beginning. So that's going to be the biggest one that will decouple eventually. This was kind of we need one point where you can add multiple accounts, and that point can get removed eventually to any other system. It's kind of more of a, hey, we're just going to start with that and then move into a more decentralized way. So yes, Mandarin is going to be put on as soon as we can, but we're also a team of 4 people, 5 people, 6 people now. Wait, we're growing. So those excuses are going to run out.
Yeah. But yeah, we really love the Chinese community as well. Like we are on WeChat. You can find us on near.mintbase.io is our WeChat ID. And we have some awesome investors as well from China, and they are just helping us out so much, and they're great. So like Sino Global Capital, and then Sino Global Capital, and then Yinkao and D1 Venture. So they're really supportive, and we learn so much from them about the Chinese markets. And also we have now a Chinese community manager called Ayoda Chan. So she's helping us on WeChat, and she's doing such a great job. She's really knowledgeable and an artist herself, artist/architect. So yeah, I'm really excited to learn more about this culture, and yeah.
That's really exciting. The Chinese market is such a vast one. I'm very excited to see how NFTs will evolve with the involvement of the Chinese market as well.
Now that we're talking about the international expanding, do you think there are like other regions that you guys are aiming at where you see a lot of potential regarding NFTs, or is some particular trends, something in that fashion?
We're horribly bad at we're tunnel vision is our mainnet is literally like all I'm looking at is just like mainnet.
And the
all
festival.
This, and the festival well, mainnet to get to the festival. Once we're like out of that world, then all that other stuff is the easy stuff, like translations and Web 2.0 land. Like that is just like hire people, they'll figure it out. Like right now we have the core team and we're just like smart contracts, make work, everybody hit thing, make royalties, div out to everyone. And yes, so to answer your question, yes.
Yeah, but we're getting there. I guess we're getting there. It's just a matter of time. Maybe one of the concluding questions would be, what are the Mintbase short-term and long-term goals, and how do you see the evolution on near? Like, what is the tunnel vision that you just said you're not very good in, but maybe just some insights about the future, well, the short-coming future.
The future is we just keep doing what we've been doing for the last couple of years. We know we're on the right track. We aren't here to define it. We're here to build the tools to allow people to define it. We know it's going to be big. It's much better than the current financial system. I think that this is absolutely the most important, interesting thing you could possibly be working on, unless you're on SpaceX. Yeah.
All right, and is there something you actually want people to know who are just engaging in cryptosphere and like getting interested in NFTs? Something that you would think is important for people that are just starting?
Go ahead.
Just try it out. Just try it out. Play around with the system. Get a wallet, and once you've minted your NFT and you've sold one, then you basically got it all. Like. The thing is, I don't understand how credit cards work and how the financial system works, but I use a credit card every day. So it should be the same in the crypto space. Of course, there are so many different words. It's super confusing. But at the end of the day, we are doing something super basic that has been done for thousands of years, humans for thousands of years before us. They've been trading things back and forth, and we are doing the same now, but in a much more efficient way and a transparent and fair way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Near is also a super good way to make it as easy as possible. So on that note, girls, you have any other questions to our guests?
No, I'm just ready to go tell my mom to deploy a store on Mintbase now.
This is great. This is great. No, I think we covered a lot. Thank you very much for joining us today. And I think we can wrap up on this positive note.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
guys
here.
so much. It was
Bye-bye.
nice to meet you all.
Bye.